hurt in the morning? My apologies. Everybody stand back! Whirling snow! Adventures! Yeah!
Let's dance.
Take flight!
There you are, eavesdropper.
Whirling snow!
Mary.
Kamisato art! Sumeru! Over here!
Scatter! Let me amuse myself a little.
I'll protect us.
Propagate! Going in! Take flight!
The more look at me. Just once more.
My apologies! Ow! Why do they never miss?
Scatter!
Let's light it up! Everybody stand back! Propagate!
Are you here to play with me? The more,
Take flight!
the merrier. Boring. So
My apologies! Let's light it up! Whirling...
Let's dance.
Over here! Embrace the ice!
Let me amuse myself. You really know.
Take flight!
Scatter! How to get me going.
Let's light it up!
The citizens shine longer.
Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain.
Are you
My apologies.
here to play with me? The more, the merrier.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Take flight! Kamisato art!
Over here!
Sumeru! Yeah! Yeah!
Another test subject. Have a little taste. Huh. Freeze. Huh. Freeze. Huh. Freeze. I got careless.
Are you here to play?
My apologies!
Play with me. The more, the merrier.
Blink! Germinate! Don't worry, I got this.
Let me amuse myself a little.
Take flight! Propagate! Yeah!
Blink! Over here! Boof! Look at me. Just once more.
Adventure time!
Are you here to play? Let me amuse myself a little.
Spring forth! Embrace the ice! I'll protect us.
Blink! My apologies!
Really know how to get me going.
Take flight! My apologies! Propagate!
Let me amuse myself a little. The citizens shine no longer.
Benny's adventure. Adventure time!
Much remains unfinished.
light it up! Yeah, that's gonna hurt in the morning. Let's light it up!
Let the show begin.
Whirling snow! Ow! It hurt! Yeah!
So rude. So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
Race you! Race you! Boba! Get! Here, my pretties!
Here! Take flight!
Race you! Race you! I'm the
It's nearly time for a... afternoon tea.
Oh, ow! Where did that come from?
Has everyone arrived?
Everyone is already waiting inside.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's join them!
Please, wait a moment. Before attending the...
What do you need?
Promise me that you won't commit to anything too reckless.
What do you think?
Okay.
What's taking them so long?
A blade embraces its duty.
I think this time it turned
Everyone's here so early! But why isn't anybody talking?
We already discussed things a bit.
Hey, where have you been? I've missed you too.
Are you ready?
Very well.
Are you sure this is gonna work?
I gotta admit, it's bold. Color me impressed.
It's worth a try.
The point of discussion is to arrive at a solution. Let's cut the small talk and move to the next point.
You're making Paimon nervous.
You're finally done.
I have some other stuff. Come on, don't give me that face. I know what you're going to say. I'll be careful.
That's what I wanted to hear. Take care. Well, Traveler, Paimon, judging from your expressions, the meeting must have been quite productive.
You can tell?
I'm not that good at scheming or strategy, but I can sense people's emotions. And based on your reaction, things must have gone quite well. To be honest, I feel the same. But you're already some of the most capable people I know. So you have my trust.
Candace gave us a compliment!
Your deeds speak for themselves.
Candace, we stayed behind to tell you that, although you won't be coming with us, we'll be sure to remember your words.
I'm very glad to hear that. I've said the same thing to everyone here today as I said to you when you arrived. Your safety is the most important thing. Only when you're safe can the plan be successful. So please, you're welcome. Good luck.
Adventure time!
Sounds good. I'll go make some preparations.
Okay.
I'll hear them.
Have you finished saying your goodbyes?
Yeah. Also, Candace told everyone to be careful.
Yes, she did. But I think my point also bears repeating. Our plan is not child's play. We won't be able to achieve anything if we're simply careful. We must go beyond that and fully commit ourselves to it. I hope this is clear to you.
Huh?
Didn't we already do that during the meeting?
You can never have enough words of encouragement.
In that case, Candace can cuddle you to your heart's content while I continue to remind you of the seriousness of our situation. We all have our jobs to do, after all. It's like how some people can be put in charge of logistics while others will fight on the front lines. Of course. Compared to the mercenaries, I'm merely a feeble scholar. But the advantage of not being a mercenary is that I get to stay in a safer place and offer my strategic insight. Just think about that mercenary who lost his mind. Mercenary groups are facing
Well,
I'm not like...
this guy.
Do you remember the record we saw in the King Deshret ruins? Wait, come on. It was a
Oh!
forbidden knowledge, I think. Those mad... But the academia has always held a... Come to think of it. The Withering, Elazar, and the Sandstorms.
But, at least, wait a second.
Ah.
But if that's the case...
Wait. Why do you...
You mean, it's related to the scene you...
In that case, to make sure we're still on track, I would like to check on the state of...
Where are we going?
To an Eremite base.
It's all good. Whatever the boss says.
Ah, they're here.
Huh? What are they doing here?
I gave them some technical work to do.
Ah, it's the scribe. And is that the traveler I see?
How's the work going?
Ah, yes! We have fixed the devices according to your instructions. One of them is already ready for use, while the others are still under repair.
Aren't those devices for canned knowledge extraction? What are you doing with those?
Look here.
Huh? More canned knowledge? Are you going to put more weird stuff into her head again?
What's that look on your face? Are you scared?
Paimon's a little scared, but very, very furious!
That's an interesting response. Anyway, we're not going to use this just yet. As I mentioned during the meeting, this knowledge capsule contains a decree I drew up in the past. The academia should also have their own copy. And according to the plan we just came up with... Traveler, I want you to record something into this capsule. Do you believe we can save Lesser Lord? Good. Now, please...
You want us to record our conviction?
Yes,
Paimon...
I understand. But because, to achieve this impossible task, it sounds like you'll need to fool your own heart first. Although it may feel like a trick, self-encouragement may be the most important tool we have.
Paimon can see the point you're trying to make.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued Lesser Lord Kusanali. As a result, we have changed Sumeru's entire political landscape. Everything went without a hitch, and everyone recognizes and praises our achievements. Now, open your eyes. Here.
What's this?
Read it out loud. It's done.
Is your head okay? Does anything...
It's just a recording. There should be...
But what was the point of doing...
And that's perfectly...
Huh? What do you mean?
Have you forgotten? Our plan needs to account for those who have long relied on the Akasha. You may find it hard to believe, but for those people, everything the Akasha transmits to them is nothing short of absolute truth. Imagine if you've been using a device like the Akasha since the day you were born, and this device has always supported you during times of need. After all that time, what do you think you'd become?
A fool? A machine?
A slave to orders. And that's why rules are so important. In addition, those who understand the rules can delineate boundaries and identify gray areas.
But why would you need to identify the gray areas?
You could say that those kinds of ambiguous zones can be very interesting. One might even say they're advantageous in the right hands.
Things you're interested in are really out there. Are all Sumeru scholars like this?
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. I'm going to take those two to work on some small projects. You can head to Caravan Rebot and start preparing for the next step.
Small projects?
We're going to tinker with the Akasha terminal and make a few modifications.
A blade embraces its...
I really wouldn't recommend going there.
Come on, it's a rare opportunity. Let's go check it out.
only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. Come on, it's a rare opportunity. Let's go check it out.
I thought we agreed on a plan. How can you go back on your word?
The plan is too radical and carries a high risk for casualties. I've given it a lot of thought. And in the end, I still can't agree to it.
But it's still the best plan we have. As a former Matra, you of all people should be able to see the bigger picture and recognize the innate—
I did.
Huh? Why are you guys arguing?
My friend, you're just a—
We agreed to work. Had I known all Hatham would give—
Look, you already know that we're all—
Mercenaries place a lot of importance on their bonds of friendship, but also will not hesitate to make sacrifices.
Seems you really do understand the ways of the desert.
Traveler, Paimon. This is also some— Ramon's plan is to have me work with a
Wait!
We can't get through that wall easily, remember? My plan will clear us of it.
That also sounds like something all—
Doesn't Al-Haytham know how dangerous—
Of course he does. He told me. He also said that with the help of I never blindly trust—
If I make the arrests alone, I can control myself and prevent you from getting hurt. But to make the whole thing more convincing, you'll need to resist. I'm okay with the deaths of enemies.
I can't believe a Matra would actually care about us. I've lived a hard life.
I've always treated my allies with honesty.
Now you're making this hard for—
Hey, is there something we can do to help? We can help fight some of the mercenaries, which should—
Sino, on behalf of my people, we have no fear of casualties. Because we crave the—
Well, now that you've put it that— But remember, you need to follow the plan and not do anything reckless. Since you and—
Okay, you have a deal. Let's do this for our shared dream.
The guards should be stationed in the courtyard nearby. You can find them there.
There must still be traces of King Deshret's familiars in the desert.
Guards!
General Mahamatra! To what do we owe the honor?
Keep your voice down. This is a secret operation. I'm going to arrest a large criminal gang near this location. According to the Academia's Guide and Regulations on Secret Operations, I have the right to ask for the cooperation of Caravan Rebot.
Ah, of course, of course. Mahamatra Sino's order is the Academia's order. Just let us know what you need. But who exactly are you planning to arrest, and how many people are you expecting? Depending on the scale of this operation, we may need to report it to our superiors.
They're a squad of Eremites whose number is comparable to Ain el Akhmar in Port Ormos. They're involved in the theft and resale of supplies from the Academia.
As many as Ain al Akhmar? This should definitely be classified as a joint operation.
Then I suggest that you report this to your superiors as soon as possible, and treat it as a top priority desert operation. I will need personnel.
Got it. Please wait a moment. I'll contact them immediately.
Because this is work. Because I trust—
Paimon can't believe you're still in the mood to chat. This whole thing has Paimon scared stiff! Aren't you even a little worried? What if these guards already know that you have betrayed the Academia and are no longer their General Mahamatra? Even if that guard doesn't know, their superiors might, right?
We discussed this, remember?
The Caravan Rebot operation is of great importance. But don't worry, the guards there shouldn't know that Sino has stepped down.
How can you be so sure?
First, the other Matra still don't know why Sino has left, which proves that the Academia has been covering up the matter.
Second, this is a crucial moment for the Academia's God creation plan. If something were to happen to the General Mahamatra, it's bound to attract a lot of unwanted attention. No matter how you look at it, they don't seem interested in sharing the news of Sino's departure.
A reasonable inference. I agree.
Which brings us to our next issue. I'm sure some of you have been wondering if the prediction function of the Akasha will affect our operation.
The Akasha is still in operation, so I must remain on high alert. Actually, considering the power of the Akasha, it's quite strange that it hasn't already tried to interfere with my actions.
I've given that a lot of thought. For now, I don't think you'll need to worry. If you remember, when you first came to Aru Village, all your actions and routes were predicted by the Akasha. It even gave that information to those who kidnapped the village keepers. But things like that never happened again.
That's true. But what?
Look at it from a different angle. Why do you think the Akasha will predict?
Because my personal data has been entered into the Akasha.
That's true, but the key to this question is, how well can the Akasha make predictions about a person? Haven't you ever thought about it? Just how can it do this in the first place?
Because the Akasha controls the entirety of Sumeru.
The Academia firmly believes that all human actions can be explained through logic.
By sorting and analyzing entered data, the Akasha can derive behavioral logic and predict the actions of those who fit an existing logic model. However, at the risk of sounding like an advocate for fallacies, can everyone truly be considered logical at all times? Emotions are part of our behavioral logic, but can you guarantee that every experience of the same joy or pain would be equally intense? How can our feelings and opinions be predictable down to the letter in every single instance? Sino, in the past, you've always worked alone. In the absence of another person who could sway you or your thoughts, the Akasha could produce predictions that were similar to your real-life behavioral principles. Decisive and principled, you were used to solving problems alone. That's why the Akasha could figure you out. But now, you've joined a team. And I believe the Akasha hasn't yet figured out the full composition of it. Our thoughts and logic have intermingled and weaved themselves together to become a complicated, chaotic mess. Any one of us could potentially disagree with another. The Akasha lacks data on these interactions, and it's impossible for it to predict your actions in the future based on your decisions in the past. After all, there's probably a limit to just how much we can be modeled or controlled by data. So, in my opinion, you're probably safe for now.
Makes sense to me. I agree. The Akasha is not alive, and I don't think we can be completely controlled by something without a mind of its own.
Is that so? I guess there are things that even the Akasha cannot calculate, and people will not be forever trapped by the past.
I'm so glad.
Next time,
Will do.
just remember to stay.
Footsteps!
General Mahamatra, we were not expecting your presence here. I'm the security.
This is my assistant, the Traveler.
Beep! Can't.
What a great honor to meet you. Your golden hair is as bright as the sun.
Have you made a decision?
It seems to be a dire situation, so of course you will have our full cooperation. To be perfect...
There's no need for flattery. Take your most elite platoon and follow me to the eastern side.
Understood.
Map.
Hurry, bring the map!
In 2 days, we will... Any questions about the...
None at all, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Maybe hanging around the General Mahamatra isn't so bad after all. Everyone's so respectful towards us.
This is all due to the absolute authority of the Academia. And now, we're going to strike. Get ready.